Okay, we are now recording. So today's webinar is going to be about digital document delivery, which is a new add-on that we have purchased from PowerSchool because we had heard from so many districts that they wanted to have the ability to be able to email out documents to their parents. And that's what this digital document delivery will allow us to do. Ooh, can't talk this morning. Now, in the email, when I sent the invite to everyone, I specifically said, let's make sure that this is geared toward our PowerSchool admins and our tech directors, because there's going to have to be some administrative setup, and I'll explain all of this today, that you'll need to do before we start getting your users in and training them on it. Now, I also stated in that email that I know some of y'all purchase third-party vendors. A lot of y'all have MBA Report Creator, which allows you to send reports out that way. You can absolutely keep doing that if you want to. This is just going to be another avenue that will allow you to send out things that you create in form letters, report card templates, and object reports out to parents if you so wish to. So we're going to go through that today. Let me go ahead and put my disclaimer in there so YouTube will keep my video up. That remember that this is to be used for training purposes only, that there are no real students or information shown in this video, as this is a sandbox server full of fake students and fake information. So any likeness to any real person is purely coincidental. So Monday, PowerSchool should have installed a plugin across all of the districts that will give you this digital document delivery capabilities. Now, let me explain this product for a second, because the digital document delivery is actually part of a larger product called document management. We did not get the document storage piece of it. We only got the delivery to meet the needs of y'all being able to email out information to parents. So what I want you to do first is, if we can all go in to your plugin, just go in, type plugin up here. Let's spell it right. And go to your plugin configuration. I want to show you the plugins that you should have installed and something that I need you to check on one of them. So on plugin configuration, if you'll just type in DOC and filter it, you should have these two plugins installed: the PowerPack Document Delivery and the PowerPack Document Management API. Now, there is a setting in the PowerPack Document Delivery that I need you to check. I think they have set it for you. If not, I need you to make sure it's set to the correct one. So you're going to click in this PowerPack Document Delivery. And as it loads, you're going to have three functions down here. If you click onto the single sign-on service, so again, once you get into the document delivery PowerPack plugin config, get to the single sign-on service, there's some options for a single sign-on certificate. I need you to make sure, and I will zoom in my screen so you can see it, that it is set to this, the default signing credential. You have different options here, but it needs to be the default signing credentials. So the document delivery portal is a separate portal. However, everybody is going to be using SSO through PowerSchool to gain access to it. And there are different levels of access. There are, school users, there are administrators, and so forth. And so what's going to happen is, this first time, once I show you how to get into here, we're all going to establish our SSO connection over into the document delivery portal. Now, this is only going to start you out as a base user. You will have no administrative rights. Once we get everybody SSO'd in, I will be given the list, and this is why I've been putting it in the newsletter and I sent it in the email of this. Let me zoom back. Oh, out, not in, Stacy. I gave everyone this list right here. I don't know what that is, but we'll get rid of this. Let me share this link. I'm going to put this in chat. I have asked every district to look over this because I need to know who your technical contacts are, so your tech director, and who is your main PowerSchool contacts for the district. Because once y'all SSO in, I'm going to be giving this list to PowerSchool, and they're going to go in and elevate your permissions to be an administrator. So don't be the one who lives in silo where there's nobody else who can do this. If you were to, leave, retire, quit, whatever, and somebody can't come in. So we need more than one person. So that's why I'm putting tech directors and PowerSchool contacts. Now I've put this out and used this configuration spreadsheet before for other things, like when we did A&I and some other stuff. You have access to edit this. So find your district on here and make sure that the people that are in these boxes are the correct people that I need to give to PowerSchool to make them administrators in this portal to be able to do some of the settings and job responsibilities inside of here. Okay, I've looked through AIM, I've looked at who you have, and some of y'all do not even have PowerSchool primary contacts listed in here. So make sure that that is there. Laquita, if you're already an administrator, are you talking about in document delivery? That is a possibility. If y'all went ahead and purchased that on your own before it was swapped over to the state contract, there might be one or two of y'all out there that have this already turned on. If so, you're really ready to go if y'all have been using it. Everybody else is going to come in as an individual user, and then we'll elevate those permissions. So everybody take a look at that document delivery configuration and make sure we have the right folks in there for you to be. All right, let me zoom back out on this as well. So hopefully everybody has, oh, it wasn't turned on, I was just asking. So yeah, nobody, if it's not been turned on, nobody is an administrator yet. So in here, everybody check this one plugin. It should be installed across the state, and make sure that everything is good. Now, what I need everybody to do now is understand how to get into the document delivery portal and go ahead and establish the SSO for this. So there's going to be there are going to be two ways that you can access the admin portal for this. So there's going to be in the flyout window with that plugin now installed. You should all see digital document delivery listed here. That is one way to get in. The other way, if I close the flyout window, is if you come down here to applications, you should also see digital document delivery listed in the applications. So either one of those. Clicking either one of those links will establish you as a user over in the admin portal. So it's creating that SSO. So the first thing that I need every administrator across the state to do is to establish this SSO connection, because I can't give that list to PowerSchool to say, hey, go elevate these people if y'all don't put yourself in there to become one of those people in the list for your portal tenant. And everybody's got different tenants across here. It's not like ANI or PL where we're all one big tenant in a state. So you will have to click applications and digital document delivery or the sign out. Now, Carol just said she got an internal server error. Minus, yes, okay, spinning for a long time, it is expected. So this is one of the things that they are working. It takes about 45 seconds for it to actually establish that SSO connection. So if you're seeing this long wait time, this is expected. I've been told by the team that in part of Q something in this fiscal year or whatever, it's on the roadmap to get this, sped up. But right now, expect this 45-second kind of spin where it is establishing the SSO. But this is the first step that I need everybody across the state to do, because we really can't move to those other pieces until we get through this. Kara, I'm just getting on, so sorry, we sent instructions on what we just missed. Yes, Kara, so I will say this. The first thing that I need you to do is go to your plugin management. So does everybody see my SSO validating, and everybody else's should be as well? Go into your plugin management, Kara. There is a single, excuse me, if you look for just document in the plugins, there is a PowerPack document delivery plugin that I need you to check on the single sign-on service screen. I need you to make sure that this single sign-on certificate is set to this default signing credential. Yes, so some of y'all are getting a timeout error, some of y'all are making it in, and let me explain what's going on. So there was a part that PowerSchool had to complete after they did the initial install of the plugin, which is they basically had to come in and grab your client ID and secret and embed it into your plugin, so that it will, or from the plugin, embedded into your tenant so that it would pass through. If you're getting the timeout or it's not letting you in, it means they have not done that yet. when I emailed them this morning to ask if they were finished, they said no. They wanted me to reschedule the meeting. I said no, we're going to go ahead with the meeting, and I'll keep that communication with y'all to see where they're at in that process and who they've gotten to and who they have not. That's why one of the reasons I am recording this. Plus, I actually have 4 videos that I put on YouTube. I made them, I put them on the other day, but I made them public today that they actually filmed for us that goes through all this in extreme detail. And it could be if we're all trying to hit it at the same time, it might have aired out because typically we're not all going to be going in at the exact same time. But it should bring you to a screen that is what's called the job screen. Now, right now, you are not going to see any of this user management or settings. You're just going to see the document delivery part. So this is going to have to be kind of a phased in implementation for us to take you through this, which is why we pre-prepped a lot of those videos. Once I send that list of the document delivery configuration folks to PowerSchool, now that y'all have SSO'd in and he can start elevating y'all, I will let you know if you have been elevated, and then we'll go through what you need to do once you are in there. So right now, y'all are not going to be able to do anything else on your end, but I do want to go through and kind of show you some of the stuff you're going to want to do and give you the links to all the videos where you can kind of see what's coming ahead. So once you get in here, there are some config steps that you are going to have to do inside of here and inside of SIS. So let me go back into the SIS. Oh, good. It's, thanks, Mark. Some of y'all are saying that y'all were trying again and you're now getting back in. Maybe it's just because I tried to get 50 of y'all to do it at the same time. We wigged the server out. Who knows? All right. So on the SIS side, this is something that you can do. And while I'm here, let me go ahead and grab these links and throw in chat. And I'll put these in the email that I send out after we get through with this about the recording. There are 4 videos that PowerSchool has created, because when we went through and I was taught how to use this program and we looked at like what kind of initial config we would want to start with out there. The guy, his name is Hunter, he is absolutely fabulous with PowerSchool and knows this product up one side and down the other. Created us 4 videos that we could use to walk you through this. So one is an initial login video, one is delivery configuration, one are all the features and functionalities of how to use the product, and one specifically on what do the parents see when they receive these emails that you send out of this product. So one of the steps is one, getting you into SSO so that I can then elevate you, and then we'll go in there. The initial login link is dead. Oh, it sure is. Of course it is. Let me grab that right quick. Oh, it looks like if you click on the D in that link and it'll bring you to it. I don't know why it did that. I see that it's the only one that actually hyperlinked in that whole video. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Carol. So you can't do anything else in document delivery right now, but you can go ahead and set up some of the parameters in the SIS that kind of read over to document delivery. So inside of district office, so make sure you're at district office. If you go to district management and you go to display preferences, you should see a document delivery link right here. So y'all flip back over into your SIS and see if you see that document delivery link in your list. Again, that's district management, display preferences, and document delivery. Now, this is a new page, so this is going to be another one of those where I'm going to go in and say, check your page permissions for this. I would probably lock this page down to anyone outside of your group 9. Okay. Document delivery is going to bring you to this document delivery preferences page. So if you see the document delivery preference, if that's in your list, see if it brings you to this page right here. Is it named differently? Okay, so maybe it's been an update and they've got to update my plugin. Since they just deployed y'all's yesterday, y'all probably have a newer version than what I have there. Okay. Now, this is where you're going to look and think about who you want emails to be able to go out to. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you watch the video, and I hope you do, that Hunter did, he took what I said in here as literal. You have to do this, and that is not the case, guys. So what he says, you want to set it up like Stacy did, y'all, that's your option. Yes, Liquidity, you might want to refresh your page if it's still saying navigate. Now, are you still trying to get over into the portal itself? If so, don't worry about that. Let that stay in its own tab and come back over into SIS. Because there's nothing that you can do other than get that SSO in there. Yeah, so if y'all are seeing document delivery preferences, then you're good. Oh, if you're already in SIS, then yeah, try to refresh that. So on this page first, to enable this product so that, you know, you'll even be able to do anything with it, you want to make sure that this checkbox up here is checked. Kara, do you have one that says document delivery preferences, not document delivery SSO? I'm going to have to ask Hunter about that and see what that is. If you've got the one that says document delivery preferences over here instead of just SSO, you want to get to that because we're trying to get to this preferences page. So to enable document delivery, we're going to checkbox this. This is going to make it work across the board. The second part is what you need to think about as a district. Who do you want to be able to send emails to? So there's two options here, an easy and a hard way. If you want the hard way, that would mean that you can have this program create a document delivery field on the student record where you manually indicate per student who you want emails to go to. Or you can use the contact management feature, which we're already putting all of our contacts in, to say, I want you to send emails to students who are contacts and have any of these flags right here. So of course, typically we send those to folks who, you know, communication out, and we talk to students for anybody who has custody of the student. So highly recommend that being your main checkbox. But if you want to say, okay, I also want to send it to folks who have the hat lives with, or the receives mail, or the emergency, you know, whoever it is, you set those as a district. A good question, Dorinda, is the condition for that an and or an or? It's or. They do not have to have all of them checked. If they have any of these checked, it will send to all of them. So if they have has custody or has lives with, it will then send to them. So what you want to do is figure out what's going to be the best combination for your district of who you want it to be able to go pick the email addresses for in those contact records for your district. My suggestion is definitely have the has custody, because that's, you know, or for those are going to be your guardians. But if you want those others in there, you absolutely can adjust this if you need to. And note down here, it says contacts with any one of these selected values will be included in the recipient list. Now, this enabling document delivery right here turns it on, but it turns it on for district office use. If you want to turn document delivery on so that jobs can be created at the school level or even at the teacher level, you have two additional checkboxes down here. So this enable document delivery for all schools, if you check it, means that if I'm, you know, a registrar, admin, secretary at a school level, it will give me the digital document delivery options to be able to work with jobs at the school level. There is also availability for teachers to be able to email out things. Now, keep in mind what I said at the beginning about the things that you can actually send through this digital document delivery. Object reports, form letters, and report card templates. Any of those, anything built in those. And remember, like with object reports, there's a little checkbox on the object report that you have to check that says teachers can use as well, that it shows up under their print reports feature over Empower Teacher. So it would only be those, number one, that you turned on to show up over Empower Teacher, and then two, if you actually want them to be able to enable the document delivery. What it does is in the report queue, it will throw a little envelope icon in the report queue when the report is run to give them an option to link over into the document delivery portal to pull it up. And again, I'm going to go through this and it's all in the videos that I've linked for you. Now, the other recommendation is this right here. For this district office email from alias, subject, and body, please type test do not use in these. This is a generic, like, it's what it says. It's the default email that would go out to all of your parents. But y'all, you're going to be sending different stuff all the time. So you don't want a default email like to start with. There's a way in the actual document portal to put an email template up based on use cases. So like you might end up developing an email template for report cards being sent, transcripts being sent, welcome back letters being sent, like anything that you might want to send out to parents. You can create your own template for those individual use cases. So you don't want to have something here at district. So I tell everybody, put in the test do not use, so that that right there is not used at all. So does anybody have any questions on these settings right here? They're, I mean, very few settings, but very important settings, especially, oh, look, see, here's all of my notes that I've been taking on how to use this product. So I got it set over here. Any questions on this page right here? Now that we all know y'all have a different page name than mine. Your biggest thing right here is, do you know which set of contacts do you want to be able to receive emails that you send out? And do you want this turned on for the school level and for the teacher level? It might be something that, you know, you hold off on turning that on altogether. Now I want to go to the student level. So once, you know, let's pretend that we've SSO'd and we've been given admin privileges over in document delivery, and you've sent these right here. Patrick, can they only send object reports and report cards? You can send object reports. You can send anything that's built with the report card template builder in here, and anything under the form letters. So you know how some people will create like a student schedule out of the report card templates? Those, so it's anything out of those three categories in the report creating system inside of here. Once you've got it set up to be able to use, you now have to opt in the student. So keep in mind, this is a mass communications tool. So they have to adhere to all the rights of, you know, opt people in, and then they can have the option on the emails that go out to opt out. Same thing, you know, your text message providers, when they send you a text, you get the option to stop them and opt out. People can opt out of these, and we're going to talk all about that. But the first thing, in order for it to actually be able to send to any student, is to opt in all of your students. So if I come back to the main screen, and y'all, I apologize, this cough that I've had for 5 months, I still have it. At some point, I've got my checkup with the doctor next month. We're going to talk about this. I've only got Mickey, so let me clear this and select all the kiddos, because this is typically what you're going to do. You're going to go grab all your kids in the district. You're going to come down here to student field values. So change student field values. You're going to let it bring up the page. And over in the fields column, we're going to go in here and just start typing DOC. You're going to see 3 fields here that are associated with this. So the first one is this document delivery email. So remember how we have the options on the preferences page where you can kind of set your own manual who to send people to, or you can use contacts. If you were to say, hey, I'm going to set my manual, folks, that's the field. It's u_docdelivery.email. So if you wanted to go cherry pick, you know, what email addresses get sent communication on students, then that would be the field you would go enter that data in on the student record. And you would need to know that probably for an import, because y'all wouldn't want to do that one at a time. The other field is going to be u.delivery opt-in, and then u.delivery pin. So because you are sending data across, you can select to put a pin number on your user's document so that they have to put in that pin number to be able to actually view the document. You can choose to do that or not. Some districts I know will put like the student's SSID number as the pin for them, so that they have to put that number in to be able to see them. What you are going to want to look at this time is going to be this u_docdelivery.opt-in. So again, if you type just DOC, you're going to see in there this U_doc delivery opt-in field. It is this one right here. I'll put it in chat. Now this is a checkbox field, so zeros and ones are going to turn it on, turn it off. So we want to turn it on, so we're going to put this as a field value of 1. Now it's got all 4,700 of my kiddos selected. I can tell you I've already ran this once on large groups, so it's not going to pull all 4,700, but when I hit submit, I am going to see any student that does not have it currently opted in. And it's going to tell me that it's going to change it to there. And I'll show you where this is on the individual student record, because you can do it in mass through student field values, but you can also do it manually on each individual student. You'll want to set this in mass at some point in time and then let your registrars know, hey, when you enroll any new student after this point, you're going to want to go in and make sure you opt them into their digital document delivery if you're choosing to use this. So here's all my kiddos that, or here are all my kiddos that don't have anything in there or have a 0 in there. I'm going to flip them all to 1 so that it opts them in. So like Aubrey Wynn, let's keep her in mind because we're going to search her in a minute just to make sure. Hit submit. So you would need to scroll all the way down through your district folks to find that submit button. And give it a minute to work its magic. And once that's completed, you can just go back. So Liquidity, we use student field value updates to update that field that I put in chat to a value of 1. And again, this is being recorded, and we've got those other recordings on YouTube that I shared with you earlier that will walk you through all of these as well. So if you're not doing it in real time, that's perfectly fine. You can do these at any time at your leisure. So let's go find Miss Aubrey, because she was in that list that I have. And let me show you where this is on the actual student record. So notice I was on that page last, so it's here, but it's located under student profile. Your kids are now going to have a link under more, which is called document delivery here. So again, another new page that you have in here. So consider page permissions. What group or role of folks do you want to be able to go in and adjust this page for the student? Y'all know that when new pages are inserted, it's going to go to that default user group access. So if you have a user group whose default is edit, then they're all going to have edit access to this. So highly recommend that you look at this page on the student profile for document delivery and see who you want to actually have access to be the ones to work this. So notice the opt-in box is checked right here. This is very easy. So if Aubrey is a new student that I had just enrolled, I would want to make sure part of my enrollment steps for my registrars would be to come to this page right here and check the box for them. We don't necessarily want to do one at a time, folks, through student field value updates. You just want them to come to this page, and you can favorite it if you need to. This is also where you would put that PIN number to be a password if you wanted them to be able to put in a PIN before they see documents, because there are some things that you're going to send out there. Maybe it's a form letter that says welcome back to school, we hope to see you at open house, yada yada yada. That's not got any PII information. You wouldn't worry about that having a PIN on it. But if you're going to email out report cards that has PII information, it is recommended that you put some kind of password protection on there. Or if you're encrypting your emails, however you're sending that, make that decision. But you would put that in right here and submit this. This is where you could easily copy and paste that student ID number to have it in there already. You create the pins, Laquita. That would be you deciding what those people need to have as pins. Okay. Well, it depends on how you have your email set up to deliver in PowerSchool. It's using the native email capabilities, Carol, and out of the box it is not encrypted. Yeah, you usually have to have certain programs and features in place for that. That's why they have this option to put in right here. Can you in mass update these? Yes, Jackie, these can all be done through student field value updates. That's what I just showed in the how to do the opt-in. When you looked at those fields, we looked at the pin. That's going to be this value here. But keep in mind that, you know, student field value updates is not going to really help you with the pin because every kid's going to have a different one. Now, once you have set your preferences, you've opted in the kids, your next step is going to be to decide what reports do you have out there that you want to allow to be sent through digital document delivery. So let's go, let me go back to my main screen. Oh, Twin, I do not know the character length for the password of PIN. I can find out that though. If I go back into my SIS, and again, I'm at district office, you need to be there. We're going to go into system management. We're going to go to reports. And here are where you have your setup areas for the 3 types of reports that you can actually use digital document delivery for. So I can use it for form letters, I can use it for mailing letters, and I can use it for object reports. So I'm just going to go into object reports to start with. Now, in order to use one of these reports with digital document delivery, you have to insert what is called a splitter key. This splitter key basically says, hey, when you are running a batch process of reports, like report cards for 100 kids in there, how does it know where to split to know what to send to what parent? Well, this splitter key is the key, literally, to doing that split. So what you will need to do is go through and think about all the reports that you have created, your report cards, your transcripts, your whatnot. So I'm going to come down here to transcripts, just for example. Notice I've got this one right here that says high school transcript, semester grades, credits, and this one says final grades only, and it says document delivery enabled. It is highly recommended that if you decide to take a report that you have already created and enable it for document delivery, you put some type of notation in the name to know that it can be used for document delivery so that when people go to the print a report screen, it's easily identifiable which ones they can and cannot use. Because print a report is going to do just what it's always done, print a report for the user. If they want to flip it over to get that email icon beside it so that they can then use it to email out, you'll have to let them know which ones have that capability, or else you're going to get a lot of emails going, hey, I'm trying to email this and I don't have the email icon. Well, is it one that I've set up for document delivery? Let them know that. So how do you set it up for document delivery? So I'm just going to click into this one right here. And y'all are going to notice that you now have a new object over here at the top of your object reports. It's called Enable Document Delivery. If you decide that this is a report that you want to enable your users to be able to send out, then all you're going to do is you're going to click this Enable Document Delivery link right here. Let it load, and it is going to insert this splitter key that is going to basically say adjust it by the student's ID number. Okay, so it knows how to do all that work on the end to look at the student's ID to know how to split these reports as they are going through. Now, because I have decided that I'm going to allow this one to be used for digital document delivery, I'm going to scroll down here to the edit main report parameters. And I'm going to put something at the end of this report name in parentheses. Now, I think Hunter, when he was going through his video that I shared with you, he puts DD for document delivery. If your users are not going to understand acronyms, don't put DD. Put, you know, digital doc delivery enabled. Like, be very specific so they know. I guess I ran out of characters here, so that's all I'm going to put. And then I'm going to hit submit. So now, if I look down here, I see that digital document delivery. So that's what you're going to need to be thinking about is which of all of these different reports are you going to want to split these and allow them to be able to email out. Now that's how it looks on object reports. If I come over here to form letters. And I have a form letter. So let's just say here's a back to school letter that we have. It's in a little different area, but it's down here. It's called Enable Document Delivery. So if I wanted to make this form letter of back to school available for my teachers or my admins or for me at district office to be able to send this out, I'm going to come down here to Enable Document Delivery. And what it's going to do is it's going to throw, if you note, I didn't point it out here, but in the report body, it throws this in. Now, when you actually send the report, these are going to be in white text. You're not going to be able to see the data in the actual PDF that is sent out. It's hidden through white text, but it is shown here, and it just sends it in the report body. Again, this is one of those, if you have enabled it, you're going to want to kind of come up here in the name and put digital doc delivery enabled. Something that lets your folks know, hey, this is one that you'll be able to enter, email out for the parents, and hit submit. So now that I know that I have enabled. Daniel, once it's enabled, there is no taking it back. Actually, there is, Daniel. So let's say we have done that and we decided, nope, we no longer want to use that one in digital document delivery. Then I'm going to come in here, and what you're going to do is you're going to go into this report body, and you are going to take this piece of code out. So if I delete that code, I hope I don't have any cross scripting errors in there. I don't. It'll take it out, go back out. Yeah, all you got to do is take the splitter out. And then I can take that. So once you take that splitter out, it will no longer be able to be used in there because it has to recognize that splitter to be able to do that. And this is going to be the same thing for report card templates. If you're using report card templates in here, because like I said, I know a lot of y'all have built schedules. Let's see, I think I have one in here. Student schedules with teacher and room listing. Yeah. If you're wanting to enable this as a digital document delivery, then again, right here, enable document delivery is going to be down here at the bottom. So if I enable it here, notice it throws this splitter in the heading. And again, I'm going to want to come up here and put, you know, whatever it is. If you use the DD that he says or the digital document delivery, you decide what your naming conventions want to be so that it's listed to give them that clue. Marion, would you suggest we make a copy of the report and have on for doc delivery and another just for printing? I mean, that's an option. That just means that if you make any changes, you're going to have to make it to 2. You still can print these with digital document delivery. It doesn't, like when you turn one of these on, and I'll show this, when you turn one on for document delivery, it doesn't mean that when they go to run print a report, it's going to email it out. Like it just gives you a link to that on that report that will send you over into the portal to actually create the job for that report. So there's really no need to, but if you want to, you could. Perfect. All right, so any questions on what you would need to do to any of your reports to actually turn it on for them? Any questions? So this is the point in today's video that's all you can do up until now, until we get you all SSO'd in and I give that list. So again, the things that I need y'all to do for me are to check this document delivery configuration spreadsheet. I need you to make sure that your tech director and your district power school contacts, your admins, are listed in here. Y'all have access to edit these fields. So make sure they're right, because this is who I'm going to be giving to Power School to say, once these folks SSO, you need to elevate them to admins over in the portal. So I need y'all to look at that. I need you to actually SSO in to document portal so that it will establish you as a user and we can elevate your permissions. So again, how do we get over into that portal? You're either going to use the flyout window to get to this digital document delivery, or we use the applications to get to that digital document delivery. But yes, Ben, if you delete it out the right way, it will set it back so that you can enable it. Let me get, where's that one that I just did? student schedule, this one. So like if I go into they put it in the footer and header here, it looks like. So if I take out, let's just delete that and delete that. Yeah, you should see it's now re-highlighted so that you can re-enable it if you decided to go back to it. I think I forgot to take the second part out on that other one when I did it a minute ago. So yeah, I'm gonna re-enable. Oh, it's already. Maybe I didn't save it right. Anyway, but yes, it will unhighlight it so that you can go back in. Kara, if we're still getting internal server errors, because they haven't added us yet, and we should keep trying. Like, you need to get over into the landing page at least. That part should be working now. If they have not finished putting y'all's API client secrets and keys in there, it might be that SSO can't make that established connection yet. So that's probably why you're getting that email if it's not letting you go, that message if it's not letting you go in. I do know that they were not finished with it. I told them I was still going to rock on with this webinar, and they're supposed to be working on that. So I will send an email out to y'all once I know they have finished making sure everybody's API keys are there, so that if you haven't been able to get into the portal, that you can. So I'm just going to go over in there because I do want to show y'all this just so that you can see what it is and what your next steps will be. But you can't do any of these steps and even look at any of this at this moment. So remember, it does take about 45 seconds to access over into this portal to SSON. They are going to work on that. But everybody double check this spreadsheet. All right, so once you get in, oh, what did it just do to me? It's probably because I left the page. It'll do that. Let's do that again. Yes, and that's the other thing, Jennifer. Yeah, making sure that you got that single sign-on service under PowerPack delivery setup and plugin management. When you set that to that one that I showed, that right there should help with that SSO as well. So try that, Carol, if you're still getting the internal server error. Go to the plugins and make sure that it's set to that, what was it called? Digital signing credential, default signing credential. So let's let it load. Okay. Once we eventually get you all in here, there are some setup settings that you're going to need to do under here. So first is going to be in the template. So if I go and show you these settings, so if you notice there's this manage email template. So you remember how on that settings preferences over in CIS, I said you don't want to use that generic one like to be as a one size fits all. This is where you can come through and actually create templates for individual type uses that you might want to have out there. Maybe you just have a generic, hi, we're sending you a new document and we would like you to take a look. That's going to be sounding very spammy and they're probably going to delete that. So don't do that. But if you want one that's like very specific, you can create, let's see, which one of these do I have filled out? Here we go. Something like this. So like maybe I'm sending an email about, web access. Here is how your students are going to log on. Here's how you're going to get to the parent portal, yada, yada, yada. You can create a template name, put the email subject that you want to be emailed out, and then put in the information in here. Now, I want you to notice that there are some, I'm going to call them DAT tags over here as well. Yes, nobody is going to be seeing the settings tab. That's going to come when you get elevated to your admin permissions. You won't see anything with document delivery right now. That's why I said y'all won't be able to do anything that I'm showing at this point. But once we do elevate you, you will have the settings and you'll need to go in and do this. There are a list of DAT tags right here that they're very few, but they're the things that you're going to want to be able to use to put in there like the student's name. That is, it's kind of like a mail merge where you're setting those in there. So I would say, you know, hello, parent guardian of student's first name, student's last name. Your PowerSchool parent web access instructions can be found in the document link below titled digital document. And that's the thing. All of these documents will come in called digital document. And I'll show you an email so you see what it looks like. To access the document, click on the link to open the PDF in a separate tab. Be aware that the document link will only be accessible for 7 days. And that's something that's important to note, is that once these links go out, they are only viewable for 7 days. So it said, I recommend putting this in there and putting the statement. If you would like to save the document for your own records, please be sure to download the document upon opening the link, because these are PDF files. Thank you, and pull whatever school name is in there. I'm going to copy and paste this into chat, just so if you want to stick this somewhere as a, here's a starting point of these, what you would want to do. So you need to think about, once you get admin access, what kind of templates you would want in here. You would go set them up and hit save. And to create one, you just hit this plus sign right here, and it pretty much brings up blank boxes for these for you to create. And then once you go to create a job, you will be able to decide which one of these templates you would like to be applied to the job to send it out. Now, below the templates, not doing any mobile app notifications, so not worrying about that. There is this district contact information. So all of these emails are going to be sent from basically a fake account. So you are going to want something at the bottom of your emails to say, if you have any questions about this document that has been sent to you, please reach out. Like, this is going to be coded in there. Yours is going to be blank. So I use this little table function right here to build this. But you want to say, you know, list your schools in the district. Say, if this is coming from XYZ school, this is the phone number, this is the email contact. Or if it's somebody at district office that you want to be the point of contact for the parents, you're going to want to build something in here that will be appended at the bottom of the emails to say, if you have any questions, please reach out to. Some of y'all have like general distro emails that come in, like that somebody in PR sometimes sees at district office to answer emails. You could have that if you've got one for the school, whatever you want to put, but it's just highly recommended that you put something right there. All right, manage schools. Once you get your actual authentication in here and it's got the SSO, you are going to want to sync with PowerSchool so that all of the schools in your environment will show in here as schools that items can be sent from. So when you first get in here, and anytime you create a new school, you're going to want to come back and do this sync with PowerSchool SIS option. It's literally just clicking the button and it will run, and when it's complete, it is there, and you'll have your new schools in your drop down. So you're not going to manage about ever manually creating any school. You're going to always sync with PowerSchool, kind of similar to what y'all do with Schoology and syncing back and forth, to pull your schools in as options to be able to run jobs from. A couple of other things that are going to be very important to you: the manage unsubscribed emails. So as you get going with this, y'all know that sometimes when you send things to parents, they're going to be just like, I don't want this email. Like, they just unsubscribe things. Or some people have, like I know in Gmail, we have that unsubscribe feature that will like go through and unsubscribe from things that you haven't answered in a long time or opened in a long time. You can go in here and view who has unsubscribed from the email distribution list so that you can follow up, because typically parents actually do want to get the emails that you're sending. Maybe they just accidentally unsubscribed. So if I had anybody that did the opt out from the email that was sent, it would place them on this list right here, and you could go in and resubscribe them if you made contact with them to realize they didn't mean to like block the email or block a number. Same thing that some of y'all third-party call-out systems have, where somebody blocks, or you can see that list of who did so that it's not getting delivered, and then have that communication with the user. So you're able to see that in the manage unsubscribed email area. You don't have to worry about this SMTP configuration. We're not using that. There are some additional settings right here that, and we talk about it in the video that I linked for you, that they're recommended to be used. Like, do you want advanced options to be available to people outside of admins? That's typically a no, so we want to hide it. Do you want to hide the send entire document option for all users except admins while creating document delivery jobs? That typically is going to be hidden as well. So allow new SSO users to be created. So what right now, this is checked yes for everyone, because we need y'all to SSO in. Once we get you SSO'd in and elevated to admins, if I'm not mistaken, Hunter and them is going to go in and cut this off, because right now those links are out there live for any of your users. So if anybody's clicking around in it, they can actually go ahead and get established as a user in here. They can't do anything yet, but we're going to turn it off so that while you're going through doing all your configuration and setup, you don't have to worry about them getting in. And once you're ready for them to start SSOing in, you can turn this back on and then do your training with your district users on how you want them to use it. And then this is something new. It's the use optimized student ID variable check by default. I just clicked it yes because he said best practices too, so that's what I'm going to do. And then your SIS integration, this is actually what the team at PowerSchool is doing right now. Because that plugin has been installed and you've got that client ID and password, they're using maintenance access to go grab that client ID and password and configuring it right here so that you can actually do this SIS integration that we talked about under the managed schools area. So all of that should be filled out. If you ever start running into any errors while you're using this platform, saying that it's not running right or it's not connected, sometimes it's because your client ID and secret has changed over in the plugin manager, or you might just need to go generate a new client ID and secret and then come over here and enter it in so that you can reestablish that SIS integration. So if things start going really wonky, that's what I just tell people to do is you're going to redo that client ID and secret right here. But that's what PowerSchool is working on right now. So those are all the settings that you have to do once you get your admin privileges inside of here. The other part that you're also going to have access to is going to be to the user management. So this is where I can see everybody who has SSO'd in. So once a person SSOs in, they are automatically going to come in as what is known as a school user. So they don't get any of these options right here to do any of the admin privileges. If this is somebody that you need to go into and elevate, so let's say that, yes, you go have all of your folks SSO in, but you're going to make your principals admin users as well, just if you wanted to. You probably don't, but if you did, you would click on that name, let it populate, and here are the different options that we have. I can update roles, so I can see that I have school admins, I have administrators. I can upscale them to whatever I want them to be inside of here. What schools they have access to, it's automatically going to give them, whatever they have on the SIS, but you can, adjust those as well. You can also suspend users right here, which is pretty cool. So if I'm like, nope, I need this user to not be able to do anything inside here anymore, you can suspend them and then you can restore them at any time inside of here. So say after I do that suspension, if Jill were to try to come in here, it would not let her come into the document portal anymore at this time. If I need to restore them, I absolutely can. Now there's also in user management an option where you're like, okay, I don't want to have to go click on every single person who SSOs in to set them to their new role inside of here. Up here at the top, there is this SIS mapping option where you can use roles you have built in SIS to become certain levels of user over in this database. So for example, and again, when you look at the video that's on YouTube that Hunter did, he says, hey, go ahead and do it like Stacy did. No, you do not have to do this part like Stacy did. This is just an example. So if you have SIS roles like counselors or administrators that you want to have some type of admin capabilities inside of here, you can pre-populate those. If you know that you want everybody who is in group 9, once you get in, to be able to be admins inside of here, you can create a SIS mapping by clicking the Create SIS Mapping blue button up here. Choose the SIS role. So like here are all these roles that I've developed, and I'm like, okay, I want my school level admins in SIS to be school level admins inside of here, so that they can have administrative capabilities just for their school, and hit save. That way, whenever those folks SSO, I don't have to come back to them and elevate them from being a school user to being a school admin. This will just do it automatically based on those role mappings. So you'll want to think about if you want to use that functionality or not inside of here. that's it for the settings. Once you get all of this set, you are then ready to rock and roll and send an actual something out to your users. So let me just do a quick run through of that to show you that. I know we're getting close to the hour mark, but let's hope it does not cut off. Once you've done all this setup, you've put the splitter key in, you've set your roles. What would happen is you would go and make your student selection. So let me clear all. And I'm going to just do it with my one kiddo of Mickey Mouse. But let's say you needed to send something back to all third grade parents. Okay, you've created a form letter that you need to go out. You would select all third graders, or you cherry pick whoever you need to. I'm just doing Mickey. You're going to come down here to the group functions screen, and you're going to act like you're going to be printing the report. So if I go to, oh, I went past it. Student reports, print a report. Let it pull up that screen. Of all of the form letters, report card templates, and object reports that you have published out here, these are the ones that you've allowed your users both in the admin portal and the teacher portal to print. You have that same print a report option over in the teacher portal, so it works the same way. I would scroll down to find, so like example here, the student schedules with teacher room listed. I've got that one tagged for digital document delivery. I'm going to click that. Now, there's nothing special you have to do on this screen for document delivery. This is the same old school traditional how you print a report. So who you want to print it for, if you've got any kind of parameters here about who to choose and what, you would choose that. But typically we don't do anything on this page. We just hit submit. This is going to send that report over to the report queue. Now, hopefully this won't take long to run since it was one kiddo. So I'm going to hit refresh. It's ready. Now, we're very familiar with this screen. We know that if we click on that report name, it's going to show us the report. But what you notice is that you have this new little icon over here. If you run a report that you have enabled for document delivery, it gives you a little envelope. If you run a report that has not been enabled for document delivery, it will not have an envelope over there. So that's the difference and why you had to get, when it recognizes that splitter key, it's going to put that. Once that envelope is there, what you would want to do is click on the envelope. So I'm going to click. It's going to establish that connection from here over back into the document management portal. But instead of taking you to the main page, it's going to go ahead and take you to the job setup for that specific report that you want to set. So again, it's got that wait time. And I know I've said it a lot, but they're going to work on this. So it won't always take this long, but expect this. This is normal behavior right now. There we go. It's signing in. It's loading into the jobs for this specific job. So it's saying, hey, do you want to create a job? Now, if you were a school level administrator coming into this, you're only going to see your school that you have assigned over in SIS. If you are an admin, like total admin to this, then you're going to see all of this, including district office, and it usually defaults to district offices if you're going to send something district wide. So that's why you want to be very cautious about who you set as admin to see everything versus those who just see their schools. You can, and so if I'm running this from district, which is what I'm doing, if I'm like, no, this just needs to say for this one school, not say district office, you can select the school if you need to. This is where those templates that I talked about a little while ago in settings are going to come in handy, because now that I've built out individual templates for different things, I can come down here. Why is it, did I not enable my templates? I might not have. Oh, default template type here. So I do want it to be an email template. And then down here, I can choose which one of my templates I want to apply. So let's just pretend that instead of report card template or web access letter, that this was the template that I set for welcome to the 26-27 school year. Here's your student schedules. I would choose that template. So we're pretending that that's what this is for. And it's going to say, hey, hello, parents. Here is your students 26-27, student schedule for the upcoming school year. We look forward to seeing you on day one, yada, yada, yada. So you're able to have that feed in there. If you want it to do a test email, put in your email address of where to test. And then here, you don't really have to do anything inside of here. Most people will say, you know, digital document. If you really want it to go to like the subject name, this is what the link in the email is going to say. Most people just leave it district document. If you want it to be a custom title to say 2627, you know, schedule, you can. It's completely up to you what you want to do. If you want it to be the file name, that can be the download link. It can be the template subject, or it can be whatever you want it to be. Down here is where it's going to say, here are all the kids. So, you know, imagine if you've picked 300 kids, you're going to see all the kids, and it's going to show you all of the email addresses that are in those contacts that fit the criteria you did for your setting. So remember how I said, go find everybody who is custody, and did I click receives mail? I don't remember if I did or not, but maybe I chose is custody. It's going to show me all the email addresses associated with those contacts that have the is custody checkbox. I can't talk. Once you get that in there, that's all you have to do. There are two options down here. If you want to go ahead and say, all right, I'm done, I want to create this job and I want to go ahead and email out, you're going to click create and send. If you want to do a test email where it sends it to you and not to all of these folks first, you can hit create job, and it will run a test email to this email that you put right here so that you can preview what it's going to look like. For this case, I'm just going to go ahead and click create and send so that you can kind of see what happens. You're going to see it go into this pending status. Now, sometimes it'll go on and go through complete if it happens very quickly. But if it says pending, all you have to do is come over here and hit refresh. Mine is still pending. Sometimes it takes a little while. You notice a percent count row right here which says, hey, this is sending to one student. How many students has it sent to yet? Right now, none. Down here, you can see where I've had different test runs playing with this. And now it is complete. So I can see 1 out of 1 in here. Now you can get some details about this that you sent out. So if I click this right here, it's going to go into this area where I can download results as a CSV file. I can actually view the email. So if I wanted to see, you know, what was in that right here, I could click that. I can load the person results. So in this right here, it's going to show me, you know, I only sent for one kid. So again, if you sent for 300, they would all be listed down here. It will tell you if it was successful or not. And if sometimes this gets really long, if it does, you might have to scroll to the right to get to these little 3 dots. But this is where you can see the details of the report. And it takes a minute. So I can see, you know, the summary was created and its status was accepted, which means it was delivered. So that should be over in my inbox. So I'm going to, let's not close that yet. Let me open up my inbox and see. Let me refresh my email. Oh, I got lots of emails that just came in. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure that I don't show anything that shouldn't be showing on here. Okay, I think we're good. Let me pull my inbox over. And so there was all of y'all waiting. So there, notice I have 2 emails right here from document delivery. The first one is what's going to go to admins. That's going to be a kind of a confirmation of, hey, you did send this job out. Here's what it looks like. The second one is because I was a contact on Mickey. Here is what it says, you know, just exactly what I scoped up in that send. Hello, parent. This is your parent portal access letter, blah, blah, blah. You have 7 days. Down here is your link. This is where in that, you know, template send where it says, what do you want it to be called? If you want it to say digital document, or you can name it whatever you want in that custom field, you can. If the parents click on the digital document, I don't have a pin put on Mickey, I don't think. I don't think I put one on them. It should go all the way. Oh, nope, I did put one on them. So hang on. Let me go back in here. Oh, and find Mickey right quick. So good, y'all are seeing the pin part. If you didn't have the pin on there, it would just go on in and open up the document. Here is Mickey's student number. Let me get my little screen out of the way. So it says enter password. So I'm going to enter that password in. Hopefully I didn't capture any spaces at the end. Hit continue. And there is the report that you put in there. And so that is the functionality that we have inside of the digital document delivery that we are delivering to all of you. So right now you can't do any of that back half stuff, but we've got the videos. I've got those 4 videos again that I put in chat. I'll put them in there one more time. And I'll also put them in the email that I send out with this recording and everything else, but they are very detailed in. Y'all, that first link, only the D in the login video document delivery initial login video is the hyperlink. I'll have it all fixed in the email that I send. But these go through all the individual steps. So there's one video that's like 2 minutes that shows you how to log in. There's about a 20-minute video on delivery configuration that goes through all the configuration steps that I talked about. The features and functionality go how. Yeah, I noticed that too, Ben. I got to take a look at that because it should have been in white text. It might have been because I removed it and tried to add it back that I messed something up with it because I deleted that font piece. I bet that's what it was because it typically does not show. The features and functionality video is about 40 minutes. It's going to go in detail how to do a prepared report from here. But y'all, there is also an option to do what's called a manual delivery of PDFs. So think about PDFs that you have from an external source that you would like to send out. Maybe your state student assessment. You know how when we get like our ACAP results for all the kids and it's on those PDFs? There's a way to set up CSV files with PDF links that will be able to send as well. And he talks about that in that video. So that's about 40 minutes long. And then there's another short video. It's like 5 minutes on the email receipt overview that just shows you what I just showed you about what parents see. So again, this is an optional product that y'all are all going to be able to use. And hey, WebEx did not kick me out. This is amazing. Y'all will be able to use, but we've got to get everybody SSO'd in first. So the 3 things that I need for y'all to do: check your plugin to make sure it's got that SSO setting correct. Check that digital document delivery spreadsheet so that we know that it is correct. Stop sharing right there. And then check your or do the SSO sign in so that I can get you on there and have them start elevating your permissions. And once that's done, I will communicate that out with you. Once we get everybody turned on to this, we will do some more webinars. Like we will send out, you know how we do our monthly webinars with the coaches? We'll add this into our routine so that, you know, we can start helping you train your users on how to send these. This might be something you want to keep pulled into district office to begin with until you get comfortable with it, but it's really, really easy to use. Dorinda, you just asked about who did the email come from. So it comes from this no reply documents at powerschool.com. So that might be something you want to let, you know, parents know to expect those. I don't know how well it works with like spam filters and Google and Yahoo and all the kind of stuff like that. So just kind of be prepared to answer all those questions with any other kind of thing that you send out. But this is an option that we can have, that we can turn on and that you can use, that is now included in our PowerSchool contract. So are there any other questions that anyone has? Yeah, I know some of y'all have like really been waiting on this and wanting it, and I think it's going to be really, really good. And I know some of y'all already have providers that are doing things like this for you. I know some of y'all can send emails out, you know, through your messaging systems. This just is a quick way to grab it, you know, from those documents that you've built with object reports. So think about maybe form letters and object reports that you've not built because you didn't really want to print it and send it home, but you can build in here now and use it to send to all the parents. It's really, really cool. Let me, oh, where's the stop recording button? Let me stop the recording so it can start rendering.